growing speculations that Caitlin Clark wants out of Indiana by any means necessary. This is the word on the street. Fever insiders are allegedly leaking information that Connor is no longer at Butler. And Butler is definitely stunned that he basically resigned allegedly from his position. There is growing notion that Caitlin Clark is not about to sign that epic deal, the same deal that Aaliyah Boston signed this season.
There was an oppressive hush in the room. The knowledge struck Stephanie White like a freight train as she stood there with her eyes wide. Caitlin Clark wasn't merely hesitant. The historic agreement that was meant to guarantee the Indiana Fever's future for the ensuing 10 years was categorically rejected by her. This was more than a failed contract deal. It was a comprehensive proclamation of independence. The franchise's face is taking actions that nobody in the front office anticipated. And right now, the entire company is being torn apart by the shockwaves. The league underwent a permanent transformation at this point, and the consequences are only getting started.
Caitlin Clark is not about to sign that epic deal, the same deal that Aaliyah Boston signed this season. Now, it is like, I feel like everybody forgot that the Indiana Fever offered Caitlin Clark that epic deal. And after she got offered that epic deal, we have not heard anything else about it. Now, we all remember when Caitlin Clark was on the Aaliyah Boston podcast, she said, you're here through 2029. Let's go back to that before I get into this groundbreaking story that I'm about to show y'all.
Everyone believed that the extension was final. Since Aaliyah Boston had already signed her enormous contract, it was assumed that Caitlin would do the same right away. However, weeks have gone by since that offer was made, and the Clark camp has not responded at all. The Fever front office is reportedly in a state of complete panic due to their superstar's lack of commitment, according to insiders. It appears like Caitlin may be playing an entirely different game than what they had anticipated, even if they believed they had her locked until 2029.
Any of that stuff happened. It's no secret that Caitlin Clark do not like playing off ball. Caitlin Clark had hinted in press conferences, videos that, hey, I'm going to be on the ball. I'm going to have the ball. We even heard Stephanie White say that Caitlin Clark is the first option. If Caitlin Clark is the first option, why is you taking her out the game in the first quarter? Her and Aaliyah Boston. You ran the pick and roll like 2-3 times, and whenever you ran it, it worked.
When the subject of long-term staying power came up in an apparently harmless moment on Aaliyah Boston's podcast, the first big break in the armor emerged. Fever supporters were taken aback by Caitlin's response when Aaliyah confidently stated that she was signed through 2029. She just reminded everyone that her contract is only valid until the following year, shrugging her shoulders. She didn't have the expression of a player looking forward to a lengthy career in Indianapolis. It was the expression of someone counting down the days until they could make their own decisions. Additionally, it was captured on camera.
Right now. Because church is in session right now, guys. Somebody sent me this last night. Oh, yes, they did. Oh, yes, they did. And when I show you guys this, you guys are going to be like, what the hell, John? This right here. And I'm about to read this. It said, on a conversation I had a bit ago, enjoy the ride, everyone. This states, I got a phone call from a friend on May the 18th who works.
This wasn't merely a verbal blunder. It served as a deliberate reminder of her power. This audio was recorded before to the most recent round of coaching turmoil and prior to the escalation of tension with Stephanie White. Imagine Caitlin's current state of mind following the recent on-court setbacks if she was already feeling aloof at the time. She is more than a novice obeying commands. She is well known throughout the world and is aware of her value. She is letting the front office know that they can't simply purchase her allegiance with a regular contract by declining to sign that huge deal at this time.
This right here, and I'm about to read this. It said, on a conversation I had a bit ago, enjoy the ride, everyone. This states, I got a phone call from a friend on May the 18th who works close with the Indiana Fever front office in Cambridge. He said there were difficulties surrounding Caitlin Clark's future Epic contract extension. A lot of concerns within the front office that Caitlin will not sign it, as she has been non-committal on the issue so far. Concern further built as her boyfriend...
It's getting harder to ignore the friction on the court, and it all begins with the coaching approach. Although Stephanie White has openly declared that Caitlin Clark is the first choice, her behavior during the games indicates otherwise. Why is the world's most electrifying player being pulled from the game in the first quarter? Since everyone is aware that she is most dangerous when holding a rock, why is she being made to play off-ball? The gap between the coaching staff statements and their rotations is causing a rift that may be too great to mend at this time.
On the issue so far. Concern further built as her boyfriend left his job in Indianapolis and has yet to look for jobs in the area at all. Butler's staff was confused by his departure. From what I know, it doesn't seem like he has problems with the players or coaching staff. No definitive answer on whether it's the president or general manager, but the problem for her is the front office. Something was said that damaged the relationship. A signing or two, again, he didn't expect her to...
When you consider the play calling, it becomes much more perplexing. The Indiana Fever used a pick-and-roll strategy early on that was completely deadly. Even role players like Sophie Cunningham were getting wide-open looks and easily making threes because it was so successful. However, Stephanie White eliminated that entirely for whatever reason. It's as if they discovered the kingdom's keys and then chose to discard them. During news conferences, Caitlin has hinted that she wants the ball. However, rather than maximizing her influence, the system appears to be built to restrict it.
President or general manager, but the problem for her is the front office. Something was said that damaged the relationship. A signing or two, again, he didn't expect her to ask out, but the relationship is growing shockingly cold and strange. Now, I want you guys to listen to this. Now, I can't put a stamp that this is facts. We have to go with allege for legal purposes. But if this is true, my goodness, it's all I can.
What's actually going on behind the scenes at Gainbridge Fieldhouse has now come to light thanks to a big leak from a known insider. There are significant obstacles in the way of Caitlin's potential contract renewal, according to a source close to the front office. According to the article, Caitlin's relationship with the management has become startlingly aloof and peculiar. Money and playing time are no longer the only factors in this. It has to do with a basic breakdown of trust. The front office is now frantically trying to mend a bridge that is already burnt after something was said or done that harmed the relationship.
Wow. Wow, this is epic. This is epic. Because this is a strong indicator that this right here might have some merit to it. I just want to let this marinate for a second. Now, this is all alleged. But boy, oh boy, if this is true,
However, the most significant clue that Caitlin is preparing to leave isn't even occurring on the basketball court. Connor McCaffrey, her boyfriend, abruptly quit his coaching job at Butler. The Indianapolis sports world was rocked by the news since no one anticipated it. Connor was one of the staff's emerging stars and contributed significantly to the Bulldogs' success. However, it is said that he left his job without a backup plan. His resignation is said to have shocked and perplexed the Butler staff because neither his performance nor the staff had any problems. The picture becomes extremely obvious when you make the connections. Connor is clearing his schedule in addition to quitting his job. He hasn't even been searching for other positions in the Indianapolis area, according to insiders. You don't simply leave your local career if your partner represents a city's professional team unless you both realize that your time there is running out. This is a clear indication that the Clark camp is getting ready to make a move. The relationship with the Fever front office has become so tense, according to people close to the matter, that a departure is practically certain. Caitlin Clark is rumored to desire to leave Indiana by any means necessary. She may not be requesting a transfer right now, but by declining to accept that huge contract, she is setting herself up to become a free agent in 2028. She wants complete control over where and for whom she performs, as well as the ability to alter her own past. The Indiana Fever discovered too late that they are dealing with a player that has more power than the team itself, despite their initial belief that they were receiving a franchise savior under their control. The balance of power has radically changed. It's not just Caitlin and the front desk that are at odds. Additionally, it's dividing the fan base. There are ardent supporters of the Indiana Fever who care about the team's success. Then there are the fans of Caitlin Clark who follow her in particular. These two groups have somewhat diverse goals and are quite different from one another. While Clark supporters are demanding coaching changes and a complete system revamp, Fever supporters are concerned about the roster. Stephanie White is under even more pressure to produce results as a result of this internal strife. However, her choices are just making the situation worse. If the rumors are accurate, this chilly and peculiar relationship was sparked by a particular incident that occurred in the front office. It wasn't simply one poor performance or one squandered opportunity. It was a time when Caitlin Clark's personal brand and the WNBA's business side collided. Many are withholding the specifics for legal reasons. However, people who disagree frequently use the phrase "destroy the connection." At the professional level, it is very hard to regain trust once it has been lost, particularly with a player of her skill. To comprehend the seriousness of this problem, we must examine the timing. The Fever are practically in a lame duck situation with their biggest star if Caitlin doesn't commit to the deal. Every news conference, every game, and every substitute will be closely examined for indications that she is leaving. Now that Stephanie White is coaching in a high-stress environment, every error could be the last straw that leads to Caitlin's termination. There was more to the incredible deal that was turned down than just a contract. It was the Fever's final attempt to keep things stable, and it didn't work. Perhaps the most puzzling aspect of this whole story is the plan for getting Caitlin off the ball. Although the present system appears to prioritize a balanced attack, which frequently leaves her standing in the corner, we have witnessed her erupt when given the opportunity to create. This must be heartbreaking for a player who altered the college game with her vision and grew up with the ball in her hands. The worsening relationship with the coaching staff makes sense. A Ferrari is not something you purchase and then attempt to drive like a minivan. However, that's precisely what's taking place in Indy. The pick and roll is the smoking gun of this coaching failure, so let's discuss it once more. That play is practically unguardable when it is run by Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston. It generates gravity, allowing everyone else to use the entire floor. However, we see less and less of it as the season goes on. Is this an order from the front desk? Is Stephanie White attempting to demonstrate her ability to succeed on her own terms? For whatever reason, Caitlin is obviously so frustrated that she no longer sees a long-term future with this particular management team or coaching style. All of these speculations feel real because of Connor McCaffrey's resignation from Butler. Leaving a secure assistant coaching position at Butler, a prominent college, is not an easy choice. He wouldn't need to go so quickly if he were staying in Indiana. The Butler staff's surprise indicates that this was a private choice that was probably addressed with Caitlin over dinner. They are a team, and in order to be prepared for the eventual change, the parts must begin moving now if the team is moving. The WNBA will completely change if Caitlin Clark becomes a free agent in 2028. For the opportunity to pitch to her, teams will have to clear cap space years in advance. She is aware of this. Her team is aware of this. She is keeping her options open for the largest bidding war in sports history by turning down the Fever's offer now. Anyone who has followed Caitlyn's career knows that she is constantly 3 steps ahead of everyone else on the court. Even though Stephanie White may be shocked, as it happens, she is also 3 steps ahead in the negotiations in the front office. There is a growing belief that the young star's atmosphere in Indianapolis has grown poisonous. The excitement of the game appears to be waning due to the front office instability, coaching changes, and media attention. Her body language during the games gives it away. The fire is still present, but instead of being aimed toward the opponent in celebration, it is frequently directed at the officials or the bench in irritation. A player of her caliber will search for the closest exit sign when the fun ends and dealing with the folks in charge becomes a burden. The front staff of the Indiana Fever believed they could handle her just like any other rookie. However, Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon that only happens once in a generation. She has a sizable fan base, her own sponsors, and her own idea of what her profession ought to entail. She won't stay out of duty if that vision doesn't fit with the Fever's methodology. The first big shot in what is becoming into a highly publicized struggle for control over her career was the rejection of the Mammoth Agreement. Stephanie White is currently embroiled in a conflict that she may not be able to prevail in. If the players sense conflict between their star and the management, we also need to think about how it will affect the rest of the team. Chemistry is impacted. How does Aaliyah Boston feel about her long-term incarceration when her accomplice is already considering leaving? Gamebridge's locker room is probably a rather difficult area at the moment. You can tell that something is wrong when an insider tells you that the connection is startlingly chilly. It takes a lot for a professional organization to allow things to deteriorate to that extent. They are now bearing the consequences. For all those concerned, what follows will be an exciting journey. The Fever will probably make remarks about how much they appreciate Caitlyn and how they are working toward a long-term solution in an attempt to salvage face. However, the harm is probably already done. A significant agreement cannot be unrejected without significant adjustments to the leadership structure. Stephanie White may need to alter every aspect of her coaching style if she hopes to retain her star, or the front office may need to choose between the coach and the player who generates the most income. In Indianapolis, when it rains, it pours. The fans are beginning to see that their ideal of a dynasty spanning decades may be vanishing right before their eyes. These days, the rumors are more than simply gossip. Real-world events like Connor's departure and Caitlyn's remarks on TV lend credence to them. Caitlin Clark is the one with all the cards in the front office, which is located in a corner. By demonstrating that no offer is too huge to turn down if it doesn't feel right for her future and legacy, she is changing the rules of the WNBA. For the league, this is a pivotal moment. By refusing to be a pawn in a franchise's rebuilding strategy, we are witnessing a player take complete control of her story. When a new school superstar meets an old school attitude, Stephanie White is shocked. The world is being informed by Caitlin Clark that she is in control. Whether she stays in Indiana until 2028 or finds a way out sooner, she has already changed the game. The next move in this chess battle will be legendary, so keep your eyes open and your ears to the streets. Indianapolis will never be the